Wow.
Thinking about it. We are agreeing to be on live, setting up our meeting.
I'm trying not to cough too much.
I know, let's just pray my power stays on.
Oh my
That's the
gosh.
key with here in Costa Rica. All right, we're live. Let's see, do I need anything from this page? I don't think so. Okay, so we're gonna just ignore the Facebook Live page. People
Okay.
are hopping on. Let's say hello. Hello, everyone that's hopping
Hey,
on. Hi,
everybody.
friends. All right. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Hang on. I gotta put all my screens in their proper places. There's a lot of windows happening. Okay,
All I can
got
see
that
is
all.
you, so this is good for my anxiety. I don't.
That's perfect. See, that's why I like this versus like doing like an actual Facebook Live where you can see the little number of
Yeah,
faces going
yeah.
up, So it's just you and
It's just
me
you.
having
Yeah.
a little fireside chat. All right. But I will say hello to everyone. So what's up, everybody? Chrissy Crash here with Violet Bierley. So
Hi.
excited to chat with you, my dear.
Uh,
Very, very just excited. It's been so cool, watching you grow as a skater, taking risks.
thank
And so I just want to talk a little bit about that journey, like how you found Derby, this growth process, and just really recognize you for the work that you've been doing. So why don't we just start? Can we just start at the beginning? Like tell us a little bit
you.
about
Okay.
like your journey to like finding roller derby. How did you end up here in this crazy world?
Well, like so many people, whip it, right? Which I
No
didn't even
way.
know. I didn't even know until just like right before I started this program that you were even involved in that. That was so cool. Yeah, I saw Whip It years ago and I was like, that's so cool. I want to do that. Back then, so I'm a trans woman, and back then I was not identifying as female, and there was no option for me besides reffing to get involved with roller
Mm,
derby. And I hated reffing. Like it was the closest I could get. So like someone someone that I knew somebody that was in a league here, like a small little rec league, and so they got me involved and got me as a ref. But I hated it, and I was terrible at it. I don't like shouting at people. I don't like telling people they did something wrong. And
yeah.
I was always like, I would be like, oh, forearm, and if they gave me a mean look, I would be like, I'm just kidding. No, you're fine.
I take it back.
I was a terrible ref. So I did that maybe half a season or something like that. But I had a friend at the time, my high school friend. He was married, and they came to watch one of the games that I was refing, and his wife fell in love with it. And so then she joined as I was leaving. I was like, well, I'm out. But she joined and she was having a lot of fun. This was like, what, that movie came out in like 2010?
2010,
Yeah. So this was,
14 years ago.
yeah. And fast forward to the end of 2021, and I reached out. That friend's wife that had joined was still playing, and now she was like one of the leaders of the league. Like the league had grown, it was huge, and she was like one of the elders, I call her. And I reached out and I was like, "Do you?" And I had transitioned at this point, and I was like, "I think it would be cool to get involved in roller derby." I was like, "Do you think I could come check it out?" And she was like, "Oh my god, yes, you have to come." And I was like, "Will I be accepted?" She's like, "Yes, you will be accepted." And
Mm,
so I went to like the recruitment night and was just like, this seems cool. And I thought it would be like a fun sort of piece of trivia about myself that I could tell people like, oh yeah, I do roller derby. Like the way you would tell somebody like, oh, I collect old books or something like that. I didn't realize it was going to become my entire personality and like take over my entire life and change my life completely. I am not the
yeah.
same person I was when I started. So I started playing. I played my first game in January of 23, and in July I joined. So that's a USARS league, and in July I joined the WIFTA league here in town. So now I play in two leagues, and I was like playing on three different teams for the one league, and I'm on like the home team and the travel team for the WIFTA league. I'm doing so much derby. It's fantastic.
That's amazing. What do you think were like if you had like a biggest lesson you learned from joining roller derby?
Oh, it's got to be that like this sounds so cheesy, but like I'm capable of so much more than I thought that I was. Like
Mm,
it's taught me so much. I try to recruit everybody into roller derby. Like that's what we do. I'm a roller derby girl. Of course, I'm going to try to get you to join roller derby. Um, and I tell them like it gives you community, it gives you like a sense of purpose and direction, but it also just teaches you like grit and resilience and determination and all these things that I didn't like have before. I didn't feel like I had before, like this feeling of like digging deep. Like I can do this, oh, I'm tired, but I can push through. I have a tattoo now that says one more jam because it's like a reminder to
Mm.
myself that's like just one more, push through. You can do this. So
It's so true. And I just think, God, sports in general, I mean, we live in such a comfortable world. I feel like it's so easy to like avoid challenges and like hide from things. And I think it's such a brave thing to go out and do something hard and like put your body into this physical situation where people are
yeah,
trying to like beat you up, you
yeah.
know?
But we pay for this. We pay to play this game. We're getting beaten up. I mean, we just knock on wood. We just had somebody at scrimmage last night break a bone,
Oh,
and I'm like,
ooh,
we are paying for this
yeah,
opportunity to like
yeah.
possibly have our bones broken. It's scary and thrilling and empowering.
Yeah, that's so cool. And so, what was your decision to come to Crash Course? Like, what were you looking for when you reached out?
More like my cat's talking to me. More like
Oh,
accountability, really.
mhm.
Like when I started boot camp last year or the end of 2022, everybody was like, "You are going to be a great jammer," because I'm like 6 feet tall, I have long legs, and and I was like, "Wait, there's a job in this game where you like get a star on your head and everybody looks at you and you're like the one scoring all the points." I was like, "Okay," but then also like that sounds scary.
Yeah.
And I got really excited about it, and everybody's like, "You're going to be a great jammer." And the first game they put me in as a jammer, my first game ever, and I felt like I was going to die. And
Mm,
then the second game, I didn't get played very much. Like as I went on, I was like, okay, if I'm really going to be a jammer, I need to work harder. Like I can't just get by on my long legs. Like I have to have some
yeah.
skill, and I have to be working out off skates, and I have to be like thinking about my diet and all this kind of stuff. And it's just really overwhelming. And I was like,
Mhm.
I remember I was with my girlfriend and we were down in Waco at a scrimmage or a game down there that we went to play in. And I was just like, I want to get better. And I was like, I wish there was like a trainer that was specific for Derby. And then I was like, wait a minute, Chrissy Crash, I know this person. I know that they exist. Because I had looked into your course before,
Mhm.
sometime last year, like shortly after I'd started. And I just, you do something when you're ready for it. And I just
Yeah.
actually wasn't really ready for it back then. And now I was really ready, and I was like, I don't care. I will devote my time to this, my money, my efforts, my energy. Like this is worth it. And
Mhm.
it happened.
It's been
So,
really incredible. You had a big milestone. Was that last week or the week before?
oh, that was the week before, maybe the week before that.
2 weeks, maybe the week before that. Tell us a little bit about your great Apex milestone. Because I
My
know this
Apex
for
jump.
you coming in, this was a goal for you coming in, was really to work on
Yeah,
Apex jumps.
yeah. Again, with the long legs and stuff, I should be doing Apex jumps. And it was hello. It was a goal of mine for sure. I had tried it in my early scrimmages with the WIFTA League, like before I even joined. I just like came and crashed a scrimmage and was wild and took a leap, and it was fun, but I didn't land it very well and I didn't know what I was doing. And then once I started really playing for real with WIFTA, then I got too scared. And then I was like, okay, now
Mhm.
the stakes are high. I have like I don't I wouldn't commit to it. Anyway, yeah, I
Mhm.
just that night we were scrimmaging and I saw my opportunity and I was just like, I'm gonna do this. And I did it. And I could have landed it better, but I landed it
Got to
in
start
bounds
somewhere.
legally. I was still able to call the jam off and everything, and it was so much fun. And now everybody's like, when are we gonna see another one? Do it again.
Yeah, yeah. The first one's the hardest one, right? Now you know what you got to do.
Yeah,
What
well, it's the hardest, but it's also like, okay, I did that. That wasn't so bad. And it's got me thinking now about like, you have to commit to it when you're coming up on that
Mhm.
apex. You have to know that you're going to do it. Uh, and you have to like assess where you're at on the track. You have to assess who's going to be waiting for you when you land. Like if that pack is moving and you jump, they're going to be there when you land. If the
Hmm.
pack is stopped, but your opponents are in front, they're going to be waiting for you when you land or whatever. You've got to be able to assess really quickly and just make that leap. And it's not that big of a leap. It doesn't take that
Hmm.
much height to get past that little apex. So anyway,
Yeah. Especially when we're 6 feet tall and we have really long legs. But
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
not that far. It's still
no,
good thing.
that is fine.
What else did you find results wise? Like what other outcomes did you have since starting Crash Course? Do you have any big like aha moments, any big shifts that you've seen?
No, I will say big shifts. Yeah, it hasn't been an aha as much as a looking back now. I'm on week 8. I think this is
Hmm.
week 8 for me, and looking back and going like, oh wow, like things have changed. Like I have the biggest thing for me, the two biggest things for me are my diet, like
Hmm.
the way I eat, the way I think about food, the way I shop, um, has really shifted. And that was a huge goal for me. Like that's really what I wanted out of this in a big way, was like learning to think about my food like an athlete,
Hmm.
without being obsessive about it, without, counting every macro and stuff like that, but just having those rules of thumb in my head where I could be like, oh, this is, eat this, not that, that classic,
Hmm.
thing. And that has really happened. Like my body doesn't crave the things that it did before. Like I don't want to just devour an entire pizza. You know, I come home from work and I'm like, man, I could really go for a big salad right now, and stuff like that. And it's great. And then one thing that is, and this has really been recent, is realizing that I'm just I'm able to dig deeper now, and not just in derby related stuff, but in my work life, in my personal life. Like I'm more capable. I recognize my capabilities now, and I'm like, I can do this. Like I don't like sure it's a hard thing or whatever, but I got this. Like I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's my confidence, I guess, is really boosted, which is probably why I did that apex jump also. you know.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's an internal dialogue thing? Is it like the way that you talk to yourself and your brain has shifted? Have you noticed, is that the difference? Is that part of it?
There was some of that for sure. And now it's gotten to the point where it happens automatically. Like
Mm.
I have a job where I have to be on the phone a lot of times with people, and nobody likes making phone calls. Nobody likes calling anybody because nobody likes getting phone calls. And I don't want to be the person that is on the other end of that. And so I used to really dread having to call somebody, and I would put it off and I would have to like talk myself up and stuff. And now I'll be making the phone call before I even realize it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. I got this. And like my productivity at work has really improved. I was just getting accolades from my boss on yesterday, talking about how happy he is with my performance, and like, you know,
Amazing.
really showing up. And I have to credit it to this, honestly. I really do. It's a mindset, just like you always talk about.
Mhm.
It has so
Well,
much
I
more to
know
do
you
with it.
meant I know you mentioned like your morning routines even shifted a little bit. What shifted? What are you doing differently in the morning that's like setting up your day better?
I think the biggest thing to shift in my morning routine is my breakfast. And that's just a
Hmm.
huge thing. Like I don't have to think every morning about what I'm going to have for breakfast because I have the same thing every single morning. I found a little breakfast sandwich thingy that's got my protein, my fat. Sometimes I'll throw some veg in there. And I have my little. I started using that Ezekiel bread. That's so good.
Hmm.
I love that stuff.
So good.
Yeah. So I will wake up. Usually I'll throw back a Red Bull. I have to have a Red Bull to like get myself out of bed in the morning. Sugar-free Red Bull. But that incentivizes me to actually get my feet on the floor. And then
Mhm.
I flip on the oven because I don't have a toaster. I flip on the oven and then I go about my morning, brush my teeth, do all that stuff, and then throw the Ezekiel bread in the oven, fry up an egg. Like I just have this routine, and then wrap it up in a paper towel, hit the road, and it just feels so good to start my day without having to like make big decisions. Because when I am left to like figure it out in the moment, I always am going to go with like the sausage biscuit, or like you know something that's really going to weigh me down and make me sleepy. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
Well, and there's something to be said about taking away decisions, right? Like if we are trying to constantly make these little kind of meaningless decisions throughout the day, by the end of the day, we get that decision fatigue. Like we've used up all our decision making power on the little things instead of the big things. So that
yeah.
autopilot is
There was
just
a
so
book I
incredibly
read a
helpful.
while back called The Paradox of Choice that really made a big impact on me. You know that book?
Such a great book. Yes.
Yeah. It was like I read it, I
Yeah.
was like, they should be teaching this in school, I feel like, because it's like it really does talk about how we have so many choices now that it's just like it's bad for us. Like we don't need to
Yeah.
be making this many decisions throughout the day.
No, it's one of the things I love about living in Costa Rica is when you go to the grocery store and you have to buy like deodorant, there's two
Yeah.
deodorants on the shelf. There's not like 75, there's like two. You're like, do
Yeah.
you want the pink one or the teal one? And you're like, great. You know?
You know, I lived in, excuse me, I lived in China for about 3 years, and it was the same thing. Like you were lucky if you found more than one option of something that, usually it was like, yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. It was
It's
so
so
nice.
great. Life is better on that side for sure. Now, how has it been with like getting coached, like having the coaching and the support, the group calls, working with Coach Sin? How's that been?
Awesome. That's really nice. At first I was worried that having only like a weekly group call and then only getting to talk to Sin one on one like every 4 weeks, I was like, that's not gonna be enough.
Mhm.
But she's very available through, via text, or through the app. Um,
Mhm.
I feel very supported. She's absolutely amazing. And the group calls are really great, getting to know everybody, getting to know everybody's backstories and like um, I love showing up to those groups, even if I don't feel like I need support that day or whatever. I just
Mhm.
like showing up, and then I give props to people who do need it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about the group and the community is it's like a mosh pit, right? It's like sometimes you're leaning on someone else and like sometimes they're leaning on you and you just kind of like all hold each other up, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like you get the support when you need it and you give the support when you can give it and then everybody stays standing up.
yeah. And it's great because it's like we're there to support each other for a lot of different reasons, but we all have this one common passion of roller derby. And so,
Mhm.
like, you have that common language that you can use. You know that you're all like dealing with a lot of the same things, the same struggles, the same triumphs, the same goals, and stuff like that. So it's great. I love
Yeah. And I
it.
know that you had mentioned when you sent me in some info that you have not been yet using. I'm just going to get on you for this. You said you haven't been using your feedback on game footage or your skill reviews or anything. So this
Yeah.
is this is me poking you and reminding you. Make sure that you send that stuff in so we get on it.
Yeah. The Apex jump video was the first time I ever sent anything in, but like, yeah,
Nice.
I could use that for sure. We just had a game on
Yeah.
Saturday that I got beat up on. It was such a hard game. We still won,
That's
undefeated,
great.
3 out of 3.
Nice.
But but like I should have done something different. And once that footage, hopefully we got
Mhm.
footage of it. I'm not sure if anybody actually showed up to film it,
Okay.
but if you get that footage, you're gonna see it. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
send it to
Yeah.
Coach Sim, get some feedback.
Awesome. Yeah, send us those time codes. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just to kind of wrap things up, like if someone's listening to this and they've been kind of watching my stuff on the internet and like maybe popped in on the website and they're like, I don't know, what is this? Is this for me? Is this not for me? Like, what would you say to someone that's kind of thinking about maybe they want to work with Crash Course, but they're not sure?
Um, if you want to take your derby career seriously, I do see it as a career, even though I'm the one paying for it.
Mhm.
um, it's almost like a vocation. If you really want to take it seriously and make it worthwhile, like sign up. Like it's going to be worth it. And even beyond derby, like I said, it's impacted every other aspect of my life as well, professionally and personally and stuff. Like it is it is going to be worth it for sure. If you are ready, if you're ready for it. If you don't think you're ready, maybe you're not ready. Like I wasn't, that
Yeah.
very first time. But like if you feel like you're ready and you're just a little bit scared, like that's okay. Take the plunge. Do it.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm so proud of you. You know, this is just the
Thank
beginning,
you.
and we've still got another chunk of weeks left to go, and then
Yeah,
from there and beyond. And I'm just so proud of you, Violet. It's been so cool just seeing your commitment level coming in, and then just watching you lean into it. It's just such a testament to like what happens when you just jump in with 2 feet. So I'm super proud of you, and so thank you
very much.
for
I'm really happy to
and
be
thank
here.
you for and thank you for being willing to share. Thank you, everybody who's listening. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to hunt me down on Facebook or Instagram. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check out Violet's awesome Apex jump. It's on my page. Who knows when you watch this? We posted it in January, end of January,
Yeah,
beginning of February, beginning of February. So if you need to scroll back to find it, that's where it is. Um, yeah, and I'm just so excited to see you crush the rest of this season and beyond. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen here at Crash Course. We believe that life is a contact sport, and she who touches the most lives win. So thank you, Violet, for taking this time
yeah.
today to just share what you've learned and share it with everyone out there in the world.
My,
And yes,
my
it's just the
pleasure.
beginning.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you later.